Before I start the show, please check the GoFundMe and FNRad's linktree on Instagram and help support Murray Siple's adaptive surfing movie. The FNRad Snowboard Podcast is presented by Flojoy Water. Burton sent me a brand new pair of socks last week. It sounds like such a small thing, but it really did make my old boots feel like new boots. I think boots are the most important part of my snowboard kit, and new Burton rulers arrived today. Check out Burton boots and socks at a Burton dealer near you, or check out burton.com. For listeners in the Lower Mainland, Burton recently opened a flagship store on West 4th in Vancouver, as well as a partner store in Banff with Unlimited. Visit your local Burton retailer. Bluebird Coffee Tuning and Rentals in Squamish, BC is the coolest new stop just 20 seconds off the Sea to Sky Highway on your way to Whistler. Drop in for the world's best cup of coffee, killer smoothies, and a true local vibe born out of 90s snowboard culture and music. They offer performance ski and snowboard tunes with state-of-the-art equipment. They've got premium rental fleets of Jones, Solomon, Libtech, and Burton, including Burton Step-Ons. And if you haven't gotten yourself one yet, Bluebird will even sell you a rad power bike. These bikes are so fun. For a blend of expert knowledge, convenience, and a lot of charm, stop in and say hi to Bluebird, the raddest mandatory new stop on your way to Whistler. Fix bindings are now guaranteed for life, and I'm stoked to report that Fix has discs for Burton's channel system. Riding fixes at Baldface Valhalla was the best last week. The new Block 7s really turn up the precision while keeping it simple. Please check out fixbindingco.com. Anon Optics make the world's best snowboarding goggles. I just received a brand new pair of M6s, and the entire experience was FNRad. From the case they come in to the magnetic face mask and the quick change lenses, I have to say, Anon's got me covered for Vancouver's variable snow conditions. Check out Anon's helmets, goggles, and MFI face masks at an Anon dealer near you or at anonoptics.com. Hey listeners, this one's for you. Upline Brewing is beer for snowboarders by longtime Pacific Northwest shredder and FNRad listener Carl Montoya, who started Upline so you can crack a cold one anytime. No buzz, no slowdown, just good vibes. Unlike most NA beers, these actually taste legit, and they're brewed with adaptogens for a mellow uplift. The Steezy Golden Lager and Crushin' IPA come in at just 25 and 50 calories and feature artwork from local legends like Quincy Quigg. Have one at lunch, grab another lap, hit the after party, and still wake up for first chair or the bank slalom podium. Drinking regular beers, toss some Uplines into the lineup. The natural electrolytes help you stay hydrated and keep crushing. FNRad listeners score 15% off at uplinebrewing.com with code FNRAD, or set up a subscription, save more, and never run out. Upline Brewing, brewed to adapt, crafted to elevate. Support also comes from the Pro Standard. Ken Achenbach has done it again with the push-button quick release for step-on bindings. Get them at prostandard.com before they sell out. Pacific Border, Vancouver's premium snow skate and surf shop on West 4th Avenue. Check out pacificborder.com. And 1910, the collaborative artworks of Jamie Lynn and Scof, two friends on a creative journey together, bonded by their love of art, music, and snowboarding. Go to the number 9, teen10.com for their latest collection. We need to thank our friends at Mount Seymour, Grouse Mountain, and Cypress Mountain for their continued support of FNRad, as well as Essential Toothpaste Tabs. I love them, I use them, go buy them today. Murray Siple is a snowboard movie maker from the early 90s Vancouver scene. His movies include Seasoned, The Burning, and Cascadia, which captured some of the most talented Canadian pro snowboarders of the era and brought up filmers for later projects like Treetop films. In 1996, Murray was paralyzed in a car accident, but he hasn't let that end his life in filmmaking and action sports, as you'll hear. Excited to bring you this conversation with the great Murray Siple.
I went to Hawaii in May of 2024 to retire. Like, I was feeling sick and losing energy, and I called my doctor, and I was like, I think this injury's getting to me, so what can I do? And he's like, you can't stop. Like, if you stop, you're going to get sick and you're going to die, or you're going to be heavily related or relying on hospital help. So you need to keep moving. Don't stop what you're doing. So I was like, fuck, I think I gotta stop. So I went to Hawaii to like confront myself and say, you need to slow down and you need to quit traveling. You need to stop doing stuff and, you know, just start being an old man. And across the street from my hotel was an event going on. It was a surfing contest. And then I found out it was an adaptive surfing contest. So I just barged the athlete's tent to check it out. And they were like, dude, when are you up? And I'm like, I'm not here to surf. I just came to see what you guys are doing. And they're like, well, we'll get you in the water tomorrow. I'm like, what? I haven't swam in a decade, like surfing. I never thought of it. And then I looked around, everybody was like that bro mentality. They were like cheering each other on. Everybody was an athlete, but everybody was, you know, had some sort of disability from, you know, amputee. There was blind surfers. There was people like me as quadriplegics, paraplegics, and they were all stoked. And I hadn't been in that world for a long time. And, you know, here I am trying to slow down, and they signed me up to surf. And I didn't surf that time, actually, because the next day when they promised to get me in the water, the waves washed out, and it was super windy. They were like, go to San Diego in September, and there's the U.S. Open. You can go there, and there'll be people there to help you surf. And by the way, there's no one that's a quadriplegic on Team Canada, so you're like by default on Team Canada. And I'm like, holy shit, man, like I came here to retire, now I'm on Team Canada surfing. This is sick. So I came back home and started training, and my training was like stretching and watching YouTube videos, and got to California at the event, signed up, got a penny, was about to go in the water. I had a little team with me, they were like, dude, we heard you've never surfed before. And I'm like, I haven't, but they said you guys would help me. And they're like, this is a pro contest, man. Like, if we let you in it, you're going to put people's lives at risk and your own. Like, we're not letting you in. And I'm like, fuck, I snowboarded. I used to make videos. I skated. I've watched all these YouTube videos. Let me in the water. And they're like, we're going to let you in because you're fucking so stoked on this. But the first sign of you struggling, we're pulling you from the contest. And they put me in the water, and I didn't YouTube about getting in the water. You're laying prone when they put you in, so you're getting all that white water in your mouth. And I pulled myself out of the contest before that. I even got to the waves because I swallowed so much white water.
Wow.
Anyways, that was the start. And then after that, I figured it out that team that I brought, they like, Murray, we can't even help you. You need surfers helping you. And some surfers came over and they're like, we found out you drove down here to surf for your first time in the U.S. Open, and we're going to make you surf. So they got me out there. I caught my first wave. I have not stopped since. It's heroin. Like, I'm completely addicted. So yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Yeah. So I get to see this stuff, and we get to see it, your friends, on Instagram. And yeah, it's confusing because it's like, wait, is he going to New York to walk with a robot? He's going fucking surfing. Surfing just seemed like the last one that I would have imagined.
Me too. I've always wanted to surf. You know, when I was filming snowboarding in the 90s, other people were going surfing once in a while. Alex Warburton was a big surfer, and I think Maury was going on some surfing trips, and I'd heard about it. I'm like, I'm not ready yet. I'm going to wait till I'm 30, and then I'm going to go start hitting surf spots. And then I got injured at 26, so I never got to surf. And I wrote it off. And then when I saw that contest in Hawaii, I was like, I'm in. I got to do this. And what I've learned is there's contests around the world that, you know, if you go to them, there's a huge volunteer resource there of watermen and people volunteering to help you get in the water and take care of everything. So now I know I can go anywhere in the world any month and surf.
That's incredible.
Yeah, except Tofino. I haven't done that yet.
Really? There's no resources in...
There is a surf school there that have an adaptive board, and they've taken some people out on it, but I haven't surfed cold water yet. So that's next.
That's so amazing.
I gotta do Tofino. But
Yeah, absolutely. It's your
Yeah.
home break,
Yes,
essentially.
exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so then that opened so many doors. The reason I walked in the exoskeleton was because a fellow adaptive surfer has a podcast that he had me on, and he ran something in New York that was called like a walk in New York, where volunteers help push you around Manhattan. I don't know if any of you have been in Manhattan in a wheelchair, but it's a fucking shit show. There's potholes everywhere and it's nuts. It's not very accessible. So the opportunity to get pushed around New York, I was all in. And then at the bottom in the fine print, it said, and demo an exoskeleton. And I was like, that's the headline. Like, I'm going to walk in that exoskeleton.
You buried the lead there, guys.
Yeah, so I did that, and yeah, some other doors opened up. I went back to the U.S. Open this year, and I did live painting at it. I couldn't surf because I have torn a rotator cuff muscle, but I did 9 paintings on the beach. Not of surfing. I actually bought not used, but paintings that were at the thrift store, and then just added to them.
Sick.
Did some kind of like street art kind of stuff to them live at the show, and everybody's like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? And then on day 4 when they were done, they're like, whoa, that's sick, we love these. So that was epic. Fun to be still part of the scene, which I miss that scene. You know, I miss the skateboarding scene. I fell out of the skateboarding scene because, you know, old man, not to mention 33 years since, not 33, it's 26 years since really being able-bodied and around skaters. Snowboarding I just passed on because once I got hurt, I was like, fuck, I've done enough snowboarding. There's other things to attack now. I have an art school background. I wanted to go for architecture, do more films, do painting, do sculpture, and I just left the snowboarding world behind. And then now surfing.
It's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
So what's your first board sport? Is it skating or is it snowboarding?
Well, I had a skateboard at 7 years old in Kamloops, but at that point it was like a little pinner board with OJ wheels from Kmart.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really funny because I thought I'd never see this board again. It was just a Kmart toy store board, and Seb had it in his garage. I went to Seb's house one day. Seb Templar. And I looked on his wall of skates. He has every fucking skate in the world, that guy. Seems like to me, at least every Canadian pro model. And then might be my board, but he had the model I rode at 7 years old, 1977, on his wall. So I skated, but it was like, we would like tandem, we would put plywood planks on 2 skateboards and roll down the hill. Did some hill bombing, but it was like pylons days then. You know, if you could skate pylons and do spinning like 360s all day, that's what it was. Like
you did some slalom through cones?
Yeah, but it was pretty kid slalom, you know.
Right.
And then I just didn't do it anymore. And then snowboarding showed up.
And were you still in Kamloops at that point?
Yeah, I was all in Kamloops. I born in Kamloops and left at 18.
And where did you move to?
I went to Vancouver to go to art school to Emily
Carr.
Yeah.
Down on Granville Island there?
Yeah. Down on Granville Island.
Sweet.
Yeah. But I still snowboarded. I mean, I snowboarded, I think my first, in 1986, I had a Burton Free 6.
Damn.
Yeah. With, you know, the typical Sorels with ski boot linings, that kind of situation.
Yeah.
Cants were coming in, like people were starting to use cants. And I couldn't get any, so I would unscrew my bindings and put trail maps under it. My cants for trail maps.
That's amazing. I was just talking to Mark Fawcett. He was on a Baldface trip we were just on, and he's convinced me that I need a heel cant for my back binding, right? Like, so the opposite of a gas pedal, like a heel, high heel or something.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be making one. I don't think I'll make it out of trail maps. He suggests making it out of plywood or whatever. So it's funny. When you see someone like Mark Fawcett who's taken it to such a high level, and he's talking about the power to change your heel side turns with a cant, I'm like, I believe him.
Yeah,
might as well do it.
The trail maps worked until after lunch. Because then they'd melt, and then your screw would come out at the top of the chairlift, and your buddy would be pissed off.
So when do you start going to Whistler? How do you meet like the Whistler crew that you wind up?
It's a little hilarious growing up in Kamloops because at the top of Sun Peaks, you can actually see the Coast Mountains on a clear day.
Oh, wow.
And we'd be like, wow, amazing to get there one day. And there was this rumor that if you snowboarded or skied in Whistler and came back to Sun Peaks, your skis would delam from the salty snow on the West Coast. So we were like, oh, fuck that place.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Anyways, but there was some pretty rad old school snowboarders. Brett Tippy was always ripping up there. Yeah.
I ride with him still to this day. Good dude.
I was on his football team, and that was pretty amazing. And then to see that guy snowboard, man, he was just a rocket. Like, I never saw him turn ever. He just was a straight shooter all over the place.
Still is, yeah.
Wow. Anyways, yeah. So then it was moved to the coast and go to art school, and I was in film and video, and my friend Glenn Wall, who just actually passed away this summer, R.I.P. Glenn, he met Jay Ballmer. Jay Ballmer asked Glenn if he knew anybody that could help make a snowboard promo video, and it was for NFA.
Sick.
And I was like, I ain't doing that. I make experimental films.
I love that you're like, I'm not doing it.
And they were like, oh, but it's they'll give you free clothes and it's heli trip.
Oh my God.
Like, oh, okay, I'll do it. And so I used the equipment from the school and filmed it. And when I got the footage back and showed those people that I filmed that day, who was Ballmer, Glenn Wall, a couple other randoms, some like Calgary low-level pros, I can't remember who it was, they were yelling. They were like so stoked on the footage. They're smoking joints, drinking beers, partying, wanting to watch it again. And I was like, fuck, at art school, they just grind you down and ask, like, were you abused? That's why there's an arm on the left side of the shot. And I'm just like, whoa, this is way different than art school. I'm leaving art school. I'm going to make snowboard films. And that was that.
Yeah, so the art school film was... What was it called?
Oh, Spun.
And is it similar to Seasoned, and there's like like skate, snow, and maybe even some BMX?
It had the NFA blockbuster in it, so skateboarding.
Yep.
And it had some other random skateboarding, some Whistler Bowl, and a lot of snowboarding. And it was a bit on the experimental side, so actually playing it back, some parts are unwatchable because I did some wild editing in it, and I didn't know what I had. I was more excited about, smoking a lot of weed and then being in the editing room all night.
Yeah.
I was tripping out, honestly. So I didn't know that I had some pretty quality shots, and I cut them up wrong. But I had Scott Arkwell do the music, and that started a great music relationship for the rest of my snowboard videos.
That's DJ
Vinyl Richie.
Yeah.
And his name back then was Spun K. And
Spunk,
the video was called Spun, and then he became Vinyl Richie, and I made 5 more videos after that.
Yeah, so Seasoned is the first one on my radar. As a shop guy, Rob Dow, Roberta, and Devin are on the shop team at Boardroom. And so we carried Seasoned, and we played it all the time.
Sure.
So I can't remember the music, but there was good music in it too.
Yeah, so the music at Seasoned was kind of like, I ran it by Scott. He didn't give me the music for that one. I was when Seasoned came out, I was like, I've got to find my own voice here in the snowboarding video world, and everybody's watching the California videos, and they're all using those bands, and I got to get Canadian bands. I'm gonna have only Canadian riders. I'm only gonna have Canadian bands.
Cool.
So it was like obscure Canadian bands, Spark Marker, and I can't even remember.
Propagandy, I think.
Yeah,
maybe.
Propagandy.
Yeah, dope.
So it was all local boys all the way through.
Yeah, and there was, I think, Slam City Jam started at Plaza of Nations. Maybe it was like after the NFA Blockbuster. Were they affiliated in some way?
No, they weren't.
It was Jay Ballmer,
Jay
right?
Ballmer.
Jay Ballmer starts Slam City Jam, Plaza of Nations, Vert Ramp, retail, and like vendor exhibits, which was cool. Live music, which was cool. It was really forward thinking.
Yeah.
And it a lot of footage made it into the video, and then really good snowboard footage. You guys started doing road trips specifically to film for that project, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And
It all happened really fast. Because there wasn't a lot of filmers at that time. So I was able to really quickly get sponsorships and get a crew of riders together real quick.
Pre-Treetop. It was
pre-Treetop. Well, Brad McGregor, who was Treetop, started filming for me because I heard he had a high-8 camera and was
He filmed for you first.
Oh yeah.
Damn, man.
Really? I mean, we bonded. He was an excellent filmer at an early start. He just had like a Christmas present high-8 camera.
Sick.
But he was filming some good shit, and I heard about it and I was like, can I license your tapes? And will you film for me? And we started working together.
I think that he felt like he got burned a little bit during that time. Maybe not by you, but just by the industry generally speaking.
Well, it was pretty tough. There was not a lot of money floating around for filmers. The filmers were the last person to get paid.
Yeah.
It was like down to like you'd get $100 a minute if in like $100 a minute that made it in the video.
Right.
That's what your rate was.
Right. And so a lot of people are getting 5-second shots.
Yeah.
You get
no money
10 5-second shots, you get $100.
Yeah. And you know, it's deceiving. You know, you look at magazines, you look at pros, there's a lot of bullshit, right? Like you think people are making money, but they're not. And I never made much money. I just got my trips paid for, and often I ate it. Like I spent more than I was getting. So it looked like Murray's doing really well, but I suffered.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
It never was great. I mean, I went on the trips. I mean, one time I had this producer and I came back and I was like, dude, you need to pay me more. I'm like giving my life for this shit. And he's like, what do you mean? You're going on trips. You should be you're only a 25-year-old guy. We're not paying you. You're having a great time.
That's the ski industry, snowboard industry in a nutshell, right?
And then there's Brad, who's below me, and I'm like, I got to tell him that.
Bummer.
I'm like, can't pay you. I'm not getting paid.
Yeah.
So, here he is stuck in Whistler filming stuff, but I'm going to Chile or to.
Right. So he's like, well, I'd want to do that. You're like, well, that is the pay. Yeah. That's what I'm getting paid is that I got to go to Chile.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
and
crazy.
Then he eventually got to go, and I think I helped him start learning 16 millimeter, and then I got hurt, and he took it from there and started Treetop.
So you did spun, seasoned. What was the one in between that and Cascadia?
Full color.
There's two more, full color
and the burning.
Yeah. So seasoned was rough around the edges.
Yeah.
Full color was like pretty pro.
Yeah, it was way more polished.
The burning was incredible.
Thanks.
Yeah. And then Cascadia was its own. It still lives in its own genre.
Yeah.
Of any snowboard film that's ever been made. Nobody else has made a.
Cascadia really focused and laid all my bets on big backcountry riding. I felt like we really needed to expose Canada's. That's what we're good at. Mm-hmm. Like there was a lot of handrails going on in the California videos, and I'm like, we don't need handrails at Whistler. We got Whistler. Yeah. We got the backcountry. We got cat access, heli access, snowmobile access. I'm showing big turns, and if it's just a grab off a cliff, that's what we're showing, and turns after.
Yeah. Yeah. When did you go to Tahoe and spend time at Noah's?
That would have been for the burning. That would have been 95.
Right. So you're at this point. Now I can understand because you had a bit of a art school bravado that wasn't, like a lot of us in the snowboard scene were scrubs. We were, rice and ketchup guys. I'm living in a basement suite under the stairs. And not that kind of vision of someone who's just come out of art school that's got like a calling. You had a calling happening, right?
Yeah.
So the burning, who are the athletes in that? Who are the main guys?
Burning, well, skating was like Alex Chalmers, Jeff Logan, a lot of RDS boys in there.
Yeah.
Like Sluggo and Colin and. Snowboarding would have been like Mikey Orr, Al Clark, Sheen Campos, I think some Rob Dow, Devin, a lot. It was a full, people didn't get whole parts. There was just a lot of people in the videos. There was a lot going on. And
good music too. You went away from Canadian
well,
music
that's
at
when
that
Scott
point.
Arkwell stepped in, and he had the idea. He's like, why don't we just play the records live at the premieres? So he would come to the editing studio with 2 turntables and crates of records, and I'd show him a rough cut, and he'd like get the feeling for it. And he's like, how about this track? And I would just trim a couple bits, and then he would adjust a pitch, and he'd make the songs fit. So when we played the video at a premiere, he DJ'd live.
I remember
so the soundtrack was live.
It's incredible. Where was the
live on vinyl?
Yeah. Where was the Burning premiere?
At the Starfish Room.
Starfish Room.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Such a time.
Yeah.
And all through this, and maybe it's a part of the art school kind of vibe. There's like a lot of drinking, a lot of smoking weed.
Sure, there was a lot of both.
Yeah.
A lot of both.
Yeah.
I smoked. I regret it. Like I didn't have a problem with it back then, and I was like, Snoop smokes a lot of weed, and he's doing business.
Yeah.
So this can't be that bad. But now that I think about it, I'm like, maybe not for me. Maybe Snoop is a unique individual, and he managed to pull that shit off. I probably missed some cues and highway exits from smoking so much weed. Like we had grow-ups because we smoked so much weed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and snowboarding, especially on the west coast of Canada, there was a lot of crossover between the weed culture, pot selling, exporting to the States.
There was a lot of that going on.
Because there was a lot of money coming up from California, Hawaii.
You used to be able to get like $2,500, $3,000 Canadian a pound back then, right?
The Hawaiian guys were paying $5,000 US.
That too.
It was insane if you could get that market.
Yeah.
And so those people would be snowboard adjacent. Some of them were like pro snowboarders.
Yeah.
Like, so it was an interesting time because there's money coming into it from the corporate side of things. People want to pay for team riders, videos, photo shoots.
Yeah.
And these guys are also, law adjacent. They're like, whatever. Also going to make money in the summer selling weed or creating a trade route with Hawaii or something.
And there's crossovers too, like the people that were making money from the corporate sponsors and prize winnings and stuff like that was going into grow ups because they were leveraging it to make more money.
Very lucrative.
Yeah.
Right.
You could a good opportunity.
Yeah, you could continue to snowboard if you had a couple of light shows going.
Yeah. But now I can't even I take a toke off of a joint and I can't even read a fucking stop sign. So
I stopped at a crosswalk and waved the guy on the sign across the road. No shit. I was just so high.
I'll go to the weed store just so I can ask what the lowest THC weed they have is.
CBD weed's nice.
And they laugh at me. They're like pulling drawers open. Like, can you check in the back and see if you have any of that low weed? Because everybody wants like the wheelchair weed.
Shit. Yeah, literally. Terrier and Nico up in Banff were smoking weed. And I'm like, I don't know, how strong is it? They're like, it's 50-50 tobacco. I was like, oh, I could probably handle that.
Sure.
It is strong weed.
I mean, I started smoking weed because you'd smoke weed and it was hilarious. You'd go to the grocery store and laugh your ass off and then run out the back because you saw your teacher.
Totally.
Like now you smoke, I don't know what's going on in people's minds that are smoking that weed now. But like I said, I smoke it. I'm lucky I don't fall out of this chair, like it's too much.
I smoked it one time just on a random Saturday afternoon, and I live in a co-op, and there's a yard out front and kids playing in the yard with the parents and stuff, and I found myself crawling on the floor under the window so people couldn't see me, and then I was like, what the fuck am I doing right now? I am so high. This is legal. Like, I'm not doing anything bad. Why am I?
When they legalized
what the hell is going on?
I was like, we need to make illegalize it shirts right away.
Illegalize it.
Yeah, because it was more fun when it's illegal. You know, like having it illegal made it fun.
Totally.
And I also noticed like driving got weird. Not my driving, other people's driving. I'd see people walking across the crosswalk all fucked up. I'm like, man, this weed legalizing stuff's kind of fucking up the community.
I think the phones too, man.
Phones,
you notice the phones, just people are so entitled, just walking. Now we've got these electrified skateboards and little bikes and scooters going cross court across every intersection. guy standing on a one wheel, like with a spacesuit on, just
God. It's
causing destruction. Yeah,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's crazy. Yeah, we've gone crazy. I've found in my own life, I'm like, when I was a kid in high school, I was like one of 3 or 4 skaters that took it seriously in our high school. You know, there was 20 of us that did it, but 3 or 4 of us that called ourselves skaters.
Sure.
And along with that kind of went sort of like, I don't really care if you're mad at me, teacher. Like, who cares? Like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
There's a world out there that isn't this. And I think nowadays that's everyone in the class. So like if it was one guy in my high school class as me, I can't even imagine what it'd be like if it's everybody.
Well, I just talked to I don't know if they call him a PA or a TA these days, but she works at a high school, and she says it's weird. She comes into the class at 9 a.m. and it's dead quiet because everybody's looking at their phone. Like, he used to come into my class and she'd be like, "Shut up."
Yeah, it's chaos. Everybody, the office. Yeah, to the office, totally.
And now that they're trying to wake people up, get off their phone.
Yeah, my kids went to school through the time where teachers had to come up with a strategy for you. Some teachers would still say, you need to check your phone at the door, put it in that cubby, don't touch it while you're in my class.
Sure.
But it sounds like most teachers have just given up on that. Just given up on it.
It's too bad.
I mean, I don't know, is it? It's kind of like we grew up in a time where having a calculator in math class was like cheating or something.
Yeah.
They're like, don't use your calculator.
I mean, they should be smarter then. They should know more. They should have more culture. They should have a bigger range of music. You know, they have all that access, but it seems more mainstreamy than ever, even though they have access to all this history and info and culture.
Yeah, my kids are pretty good. My daughter became a DJ a couple years back.
Nice.
And so the progression there for her was she found her music. She likes 90s hip hop, which is dope because that's fucking awesome. And then in learning the history of it, she's like, well, I want to spin vinyl.
Sure.
Which is, nobody does that, you know, out of her classmates. And that's the thing, is now becoming a DJ, you go to a DJ school.
Right.
Where half of it is the technical aspect of learning how to DJ, and the other half is like the community. So the school actually, it's so smart. They set up these gigs for their students. So like as soon as you can piece together a few transitions and you have a good background in music, you can go DJ for 2 hours at an arcade somewhere where they're saying, oh, there's a live DJ.
Right.
And the school gets paid $200.
Nice.
The student gets paid $100, right? Yeah. And it just is, and you're like, you're a student and you're playing live for like the general public. It's pretty cool.
That is really good.
Yeah, it's really smart. Shout out Table Tutors.
When I have younger guests over, I'm not a DJ, but I have a vinyl setup and a record collection. I'm always like, put on a record, and like you see them kind of wipe their hands on their pants and be like, what do I do? Like, just approaching the amplifier to try and turn it on is interesting to watch, you know.
Oh yeah, totally.
Scott Arkwell told me that he plays a lot of 45s, and kids come up to him are like, what are those weird CDs you're playing?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Scott's still doing, like, he DJ'd for the West Beach opening. He DJ'd at Snowboarding is So Much Fun, the Pacific Border event they do every year to kick off the season.
Yeah.
He's still a big part of the snowboard community.
He really is.
Like, everybody loves Scott. Like,
yeah.
He's our celebrity DJ guy.
Yeah.
And a good part of that is because of his affiliation with your videos back in the day and all those connections from...
Well, I was really lucky because I think after I made the Spun video, the first art school snowboard video that I made in like 92 or 3, I was like, I need someone else to do my music. You know, I'm just like picking what I think is cool, but I need someone good. And I went to, it was a Whistler, it was a West Beach contest, and Scott was DJing at it. And I'm like, fuck, I should get that guy to pick my music. And so I met him at the bottom of the Whistler chairlift gondola. I forget what that gondola is called. And heading towards the Longhorn, I see Scott with a Crater Records on a longboard with his amp and turntables and mixing board or whatever. And I'm like, he's pushing it through like wet snow, you know? And I'm like, dude, can you help me with my music? And he's like, come to the bar tonight. I'll show you what DJing's about, and we can go from there. And I went to the DJ booth, and I hadn't seen DJing before. I was amazed 2 records can like be turned into music like that. But not only that, he's like, watch this. I'll make people get drinks. And then I'll fill the dance floor. And I'm like, wow, you're controlling the crowd. I didn't really realize. I thought you were just playing hits.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
That's awesome, yeah.
And so I knew that he could help my videos because he had like that control and knowledge.
What a wonderful connection there. Yeah, when I went to the DJ school with my daughter, they throw events. And I was talking with one of the guys that runs it. I was like, I always thought DJing was mostly about the drugs. Like that was my take on it, was like, isn't it EDM music and some guy on ecstasy and also selling ecstasy? Isn't that the business model?
The bar he made me go watch him at was the Savage Beagle. I forgot the name. And he was like, yeah, Wednesday's locals night. I hate it. I'm like, why do you hate it? He's like, because Nix and those guys keep trying to get me to play Wu-Tang.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so fun, dude.
Yeah.
What a time. Yeah, so it was, okay. Getting to Cascadia, what was the idea behind it?
Cascadia, I felt like it was like 96, and it was when snowboarding was just turning the corner of becoming more mainstream. Mm-hmm. It felt like half the people on the resorts were snowboarding. Mm-hmm. Where it was when I started in 86, you could tell who was snowboarding by their jacket. You know, like, oh, here comes Buddy, you know, because there'd only be 4 of us on the whole hill. So you'd know. But then when it got to that 50% mark, I'm like, I don't know, man, it's going to eat itself and it's going to become stupid now. And then I heard it got into the Olympics for the first time. So I was like, oh yeah. So my video's idea was to be like the death of snowboarding, mm-hmm. where sponsors killed riders, where riders killed each other, where nature killed riders. So it was like the death of snowboarding. Cigarettes killed snowboarders. So that was kind of the idea behind it. So I went and I wanted it to be horror movie like. Obviously people are getting murdered in it. And it's kind of a weird culty classic now because it doesn't make much sense, but it's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And the reason that it's like that is because I'd actually hired Sean Kearns to do the narration and he didn't show up. And we had a 1-day window before it had to go and get, printed
duped
on
and everything.
Duped. Yeah. Thanks. I forgot that word, duped. But I got duped by Kearns and he didn't show up. So that video got released without narration and it's just what it is now.
Were you close friends with him? I
mean, I wouldn't say close friends, but we were in the same community. I mean, we both had places in the Vale, or he seemed to be in the Vale a lot. And, one of those fighting videos was in my, Fight Your Friends night was actually in one of the apartments I rented at the Vale.
Oh, wow.
I came home to an enormous amount of broken everything. So we were close enough, I think Johnson tried to fight me outside Tommy Africa's one night.
Yep.
Can't remember why that didn't happen, but we were about to go and we were there. We were all in that same crew. It wasn't that big of a scene back then.
Right.
So I'd really tried to nail him down on it. I had the feeling it might not happen, but it didn't happen. And
what was the narration like? Like, who wrote it?
I wrote it. It was kind of in the theme of Goodfellas.
Cool.
I was really into that movie, and I wanted Kearns to kind of describe how it was growing up and becoming a snowboarder, and then it got so big it was chaos.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And there was a lot of ad-libbing planned. I had an outline, and then it's Kearns. You let that guy go, and he wasn't able to do it.
Yeah.
But I like your suggestion, Eric, that we should bring that back and get him to do the narration finally.
I was thinking about it on the way here, and I'm thinking Cascadia turned out so well. It was a part of the vibe of it was shocking, and it was shocking in a couple of ways. It had a through line, but it was like, why? There was a lot of why around
there were some rules, it was all 16 millimeter. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the rules. And it was Rick McCrank's first part in a video. So there's that. He's the only skater in it, I think. No, there's a Slam City Jam bit.
Yep.
But he has his own section, and yeah, it was mostly big tricks, big backcountry stuff. We tried to keep it like, don't use chairlifts in this video.
Sick.
So that's how it stuck to its guns, and it turned out to be what it is. Yeah.
I've already reached out to Kearns. If he does the narration for
Yeah,
it would be sick to
that
do.
would be.
What year did it come out? 96?
96.
So if we did a 2026
Yeah.
30-year anniversary,
Oh, that would be amazing.
and we do a premiere up in Squamish at Bluebird,
Yeah.
it holds 50 to 70 people standing. You could fill that so easy.
That would be really fun.
It'd just be a fun community event to
Scott
have.
did the music too, so we could have him doing it
my
live
God.
again.
That would be so incredible.
Yeah. It would, there's something in that video that's funny too, is Scott had a lot of sound effects on vinyl, and they were all like goofy comedy or like animation sound effects,
Yeah.
So if I could find one that matched a rider, I would put it to their part, So in the background, there's like dice rolling, there's babies crying, there's like all sorts of weird. So there's like some hidden like Easter eggs in there sound wise.
I fucking love it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fun, and it was so like outside of normal.
Yeah.
That, but then it was kind of tragic because it was like this horror movie where people are fucking getting maimed and killed, and then it was that winter season that it came out that you got hurt, right?
Yeah, the end of snowboarding, the death of snowboarding. It's weird how that worked out.
Yeah, I remember people saying it was eerie.
Yeah.
That it was like an eerie feeling.
Yeah.
This is the movie he put out.
Almost like I jinxed myself, Like,
well, that's what people were kind of putting it like, you jinx yourself.
And laying in that hospital bed, paralyzed, looking out the window. It was in Kamloops, and seeing this. It was November, and it was dumping. I think that was the biggest snowfall in over a decade. That season I missed. That was a hard one to watch happen.
I can't even imagine, dude.
But pulled out of that pretty quickly.
So what happens? Like, how do you get in the accident? How do you get in the situation that, like, from what I've heard, you're in a car with a drunk driver. Mm-hmm. What are you doing up in Kamloops?
Well,
at that point,
Cascadia is the reason. So I made that film, spent every dime I had, and racked up all my credit cards, and went to the producer to say, like, hey, like, all that sponsorship money, I need it because I gotta pay people, myself, and my credit cards. So, like, it was at the time where when you had a credit card, they would phone it in and get a PIN number to prove it. Like, they didn't have a machine to do that. Some places had a machine, but everywhere else had the carbon copy check.
Yeah.
So I was eating at places that had carbon copy checkers, because they weren't phoning it in.
Right.
So they didn't know I was over my limit. It was that bad. And then it was down to like 2 restaurants left that had the carbon copy checker.
Wow.
So when he said that he had invested the money and there wasn't any left because the investment didn't work out, would have to get new sponsors and make another movie to get paid, I was like, dude, I'm done. Like, I gotta leave. Like, I don't have any money for rent. Like, I gotta
leaving Whistler.
Yeah, and I had a trailer at the time. I bought a trailer. I was living in Southside, and I was like, I gotta fucking drive this up to Kamloops to my parents' driveway and like figure out how I'm gonna approach going forward. So I went up there for a month and was like, quit weed, was training at the gym, was trying to figure out how could I come back with no money. And because it was October. It's like too late to go after sponsors, and you have to wait till the next year. Anyways, my sister came home with 2 twin babies, and it was Thanksgiving, and I went through the dinner with them, but these babies were crying, and like, no offense to those babies who are my nieces and nephews and almost 30-year-olds now, Kim and Jack, but you didn't know you were crying. But I was stressed, so I left, and I went to the pub. And the pub in Kamloops on Thanksgiving traditionally is when all the university buddies came back, and you get to hang out. There was nobody there, and the only people there were these 3 kind of sketchy women. I don't know what their occupation was, but they were high and drunk, and it was like 8 p.m. And I had a Crown Royal and Coke, and I left it on the table going, I'm not hanging out with you, and I left the bar. And it was only 8. It was still light outside, and I got out, and Simon Davis pulled up in his new black fucking Mitsubishi all-wheel drive with a coffee can exhaust and a, I don't know, big stereo in it. And I'm like, fuck this guy. But he's probably going to want to smoke a joint. So at least I'll be able to do something tonight. So I sat in his car. And then he's like, get in the back because our other friend Roger's coming. I'm like, okay, what are you guys doing? And he's like, we're taking you to a party. And they kind of were hijacking me, like funny hijacking, like a prank.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going anywhere, man. I'm still in this training mode. And fuck, next thing you know, Roger sits in the passenger seat. I'm squished in the back seat of this little car. And Simon just peeled out. And he peeled out so fast that by the time we were out of the parking lot of the pub and turned that corner to get onto the highway exit, he was doing 80 kilometers an hour and hit a barrier that prevented cars turning down onto the highway from flipping over. And we hit that barrier and flipped over on the roof and skidded down onto the highway below. And because I was in the back seat, I broke my neck because my head hit the roof.
Oh, God.
And I remember being paralyzed and being out the back window with like glass on me, and they both were out of the car coughing, and some southern rap music was on the stereo. And I remember the CD came out of the CD player when we hit the barrier, like it ejected and it went silent and we crashed, and like water or gas is dripping on my chest. And I'm thinking of like that helicopter accident with Schwarty that everybody got burned and some people died, and I'm like, fuck, is this my turn? Like, I'm gonna burn here on the Trans-Canada Highway tonight. And someone came down, this girl came down from the bar and pulled me out by my hoodie, and the ambulance showed up and they started like asking me to move my legs, and I could, and they're like, raise your arm, and I could, and they're like, squeeze my finger, and I did, and they're like, oh dude, you're lucky, you must have just really hit your head hard, but you're gonna be fine. So I get to the hospital in Kamloops, and there's 3 drunk driving accidents in there. And so it was really busy. All the staff was taken up, so they called in a doctor. Took a while, and I'm complaining. I'm like, my neck broke. I saw this blue spark, like it, and my body's tingling. Like I got an erection. Like I learned in first aid that if you hurt your spinal cord, males get an erection. They're like, no, the ambulance people said you're fine. Like, quit being a wimp.
What?
Yeah, quit being a wimp. Anyways, so the doctor finally comes, sends me to radiology, takes an x-ray. It's blurry, so they put me back in radiology. You know, you're not supposed to move a person with a potential spinal cord injury. Here they are moving me around. Get back. They're like, we looked at the x-ray, and you don't have a broken neck, so we're going to take the collar off and let you go home. We're busy. And I'm like, no, dude. And they took the collar off, and it cracked so loud that the emergency room heard it and came rushing over. And I another blue spark, and that blue spark was like all the athletic things I've ever learned in my life left my body at that moment. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, my mom came in and was like just freaking out. And my mom doesn't freak out. She's a very mellow, nice lady. She got kicked out of ER. And then nothing happened. They left me. They shut the curtain. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, so another doctor shows up holding the x-ray going, you broke your neck.
Same x-ray. They didn't do
x-ray.
Another x-ray.
Buddy circled C1 to 5, and I was a C6 and 7 subluxation, like one vertebrae slipped over the other and pinched the spinal cord. And since he circled 1 to 5, he dismissed it, even though on the x-ray you could see the break. So they were like, we sent him home. He fucked up. You're paralyzed. We're going to put you in surgery and secure your neck, but you're got to prepare yourself. You're not going to walk anymore, and you might not ever. Oof. Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell? I just got in a guy's car. Like I didn't get in a drunk driver's car. I got in my friend's car. I didn't know he was wasted. He'd been partying for 24 hours, you know.
Oh, no.
I didn't know. And then all this happened, and so that doctor killed himself after, because, you know, I grew up in Kamloops. I had a big community there. I played on the football team. I was a quarterback, and he got yelled at everywhere in town. And he got someone else hurt earlier. I think he He did had a malpractice suit against him already. I think he had a drug and alcohol issue. His nickname was the Party Doctor, so I guess he did. And the fact that he killed himself doesn't help my case, but I guess he helped himself. And so they were like, oh, okay, so you're gonna hang out in Kamloops for 6 months waiting to get into rehab, and then you have 1 to 2 years to find out if any of your body comes back, and you'll be good to go. And I'm like, 1 to 2 years. Yeah, I couldn't eat a muffin. Like, I couldn't do anything with my hands. I didn't know how they would work. So it was kind of
a lot of anger there. No,
it was more like, let's go. Like, let's move. Like, get me to a place that knows how to deal with spinal cord injuries right now. Like, I'll go to Spain. I'll go to China. I'll go to Bangkok. Just get me out of Kamloops. Right. You guys don't know what you're doing. You also hurt me.
Yes.
So I want out of this fucking place.
Get the fuck out of here.
So I did finally get through a lot of pushing. I got to GF Strong in Vancouver and started to put it together. But Eric, I never spiraled. I never once was depressed about it. I wanted to use every ounce of energy I can to get better and to learn how to work with the body that I have and move forward. I felt any form of depression would eat energy and take away from healing. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad I had that mindset. I mean, of course, there was tears and there was loss, but there was hope. I mean, I had 6 years of university education. I had all this athletic skill to lean on, all that discipline from football and growing up in a redneck town, fighting and fishing and hunting. And, I wasn't going to let it beat me after all that. So I didn't. And, I used all my skills to continue on and be even still doing art, still making films, now surfing. And I don't even know what else is still ahead.
Right. So it's so inspiring. It's crazy.
Sorry, one thing though, laying in that bed, some nights tearful, I would look at the wheelchair that they left for me and I'd be like, directors use chairs. I could still fucking direct movies.
Amazing.
I don't need to. Okay, I'm not going to snowboard anymore. And I guess I could go sit skiing, but I looked at it at a different way. Like, how could I still be an artist? And that was still there. Yeah,
because for most guys that push into film, I don't want to say all, but a good portion of them are aspiring pro snowboarders or guys that are want to stay in the industry. They love it and they know, okay, I'm not going to be a Devin. They've seen Devin. They go, you know what? I could be a filmer.
Yeah.
I could be a movie producer.
Yeah.
And so they go in that way. You came into it from I want to make movies.
Yeah.
So that was already there before the whole thing.
Yeah.
So when does Cards of Darkness happen?
Well, I didn't just want to make movies. I kind of bred myself accidentally to follow people that were after it. It started with going to small amusement parks. It started with going to rodeos with my dad, just seeing that there was people that used their physical body to almost be rock stars. They were celebrities in sports that were obscure sports. So and then they had these open doors because of it, they had the girls, they had the money, they had the free clothes. And I saw it in the 70s. We had this thing called Spoolmac Days. It was a festival in Kamloops where they had rides and rodeos and horse races. But then they had a 9-foot wide skinny BMX vert ramp with these kids from California doing some spin tricks and stuff, and even some skaters, roller skaters at the time. And I was just amazed that there was entertainment like that. And I think I've pursued it the entire time. I'm just looking at people that are enjoying the ride and I want to document it. There's an outsider community there that I completely connect with. So I'm still after it.
Yeah.
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 And so that led to Cards of Darkness. So I moved to North Van and built a house that was wheelchair accessible up by Grouse Mountain, so it's 200 meters above sea level. And I wake up one morning to clinking glass, and I'm like, it's so quiet up here. Why am I hearing clinking glass? And I put it together that someone was going through my recycling bin. So I get up and I look out the window, and down the street there's Big Al going through people's recycling bins. He's got a shopping cart, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, how did he get that cart up here? Like, that's a long haul. Like, downtown, I could see someone going a distance with a cart, but he pushed uphill. Amazing. So I'm like, I'm going to go to the recycle depot, find that guy, and ask if I can make a film about him collecting bottles in a, more affluent neighborhood, because the contrast to me is amazing. And I asked someone to come film me, this guy Peter Blue. I'm like, I need someone to run a camera, so can you do it? And he's like, you mean the guys that ride shopping carts? Because at that point, I hadn't put that together.
You didn't
he got
know.
the cart up there, but he wrote it down.
Yeah.
And when Peter said that, I was like, what? They ride the carts? And then I started thinking it through, and I'm like, recycling, homelessness, alcoholism, disability, ex-snowboard, skateboard filmmaker, like all the boxes are getting checked here for a very unique documentary. And I approached Big Al, and he saw me in a wheelchair come up to him. No one had asked to film him before. His story was dying to be told. Like, he was just waiting. And then because I'm using a wheelchair, I was like him, he thought, an outsider. So he opened his arms and was like, yeah, buddy, put my shopping cart in your van. Let's go up Mountain Highway and give her. And I'm like, okay, fuck, this is on. And he went 67 kilometers an hour.
It's unbelievable.
Because that's the size of the wheel, and that's the max speed. So we did it again, and I'm like, okay, this is a film. Like, got to get this going. And
that's incredible. Did you write a script for it?
Well, I didn't at first. I was, Bum Fights had just came out.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And I was like, hey, this is like bum carts. I'm going to make bum carts. And I didn't know what I had yet. And the National Film Board found out a person with disability was making this film. And they called me in, and they're like, we're going to greenlight your film if you change the name. So
what was the name of it at the time?
Bum Carts. So I was like, okay, I got to scramble here. So I was Googling like things that rhyme with carts. And one of my big inspirations has always been Apocalypse Now. So I was researching that. And it's based off of Joseph Conrad's novel, Heart of Darkness. And his wife made a documentary during Apocalypse Now called Hearts of Darkness.
Yeah,
and
Sophia
I'm like,
Coppola.
Hearts
right?
of Dark. Yeah. Her mom. I forget her name. Damn. But so Carts of Darkness. Perfect.
So sick.
Yeah. Because
I went to the premiere of it at the North Van
amazing
Rec
premiere.
Center.
That
Holy
was sick.
shit. I've got goosebumps thinking about it.
Nothing in the film festival world in Vancouver has ever had a premiere like that. People yelling to get it going,
It was incredible.
I remember Tosh Osaka just yelling like, get rid of the fucking canoe, because they brought out a huge canoe on stage, like First Nations canoe, because the previous film was something about it, and so they had the actual canoe there. Tosh was like, get the fucking canoe off the stage.
Oh my God.
Anyways, and it was packed. There was a lineup there. People couldn't get in. I think it sat 800 people. My parents were there.
We smoked joints out
I
front.
was high.
It was incredible.
They were like, can you give the Q&A? And I'm like, nope.
You didn't do a Q&A after.
But yeah, what a show. I'm glad you're there. Thanks.
Yeah, no, thank you for making it, because it was like you disappeared for a while from our scene for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'd seen you at a party or two, maybe around that time.
Sure.
Pre-carts.
Sure.
But then, and the movie was so personal.
Yeah.
You put a lot of yourself in that movie.
Yeah, well, thankfully the producer, Tracy Friesen, she passed away too now. She told me, because I was struggling with it, I'm like, they were kind of, at the NFB, they were a little bit accusing me of just being a skateboard filmer. Like, they were like, it's just some film by a snowboard guy. Like, it's not a real film. And she's like, if you want to beat that, you're going to have to make a film with these guys, not about these guys. And that was a turning point. I was like, okay, I get it. I got to put myself into this.
Right.
I put my story into it. I still held back. Like, I never really dove into, like, what my history in it was, but I did go on camera with them. I did be part of it, I'm not going to give away the ending, but I got in it. So, I really became part of their lifestyle, and I invited them into mine. And
there's a moment in that film that I'm trying to find a word that's not haunt, but it haunts me. But it's informed my thoughts about inclusion. Right. Especially where there's a homeless guy who's given a home, and then you're in his new home and you're thinking, I don't know about other people, but myself, sometimes I'll look at people and go, well, if I was in that situation, what I would do, I'd set up a lemonade stand, and then I'd pick cherries over here in the Okanagan, and I'd sell them, and then I wouldn't be homeless anymore. Yeah. But I'm not them, and I don't have their history. I don't have their challenges. Yeah. And you go in this guy's house, and it's not a house. He's lying on the floor of an apartment that somebody else has arranged for him. Like you guys have gotten together, and this is like, here's the support, but you've taken him out of his community, and you see it. You're just like, wait, he's better off in the bush.
Well, he was number one, he was too far from the liquor store. So you couldn't walk to it. And the bus drivers quit letting him on. So that's why he left that place. But he also had nothing. So in a scene where he's in that place in an empty apartment, he's got like a pair of socks, one country and western novel, one cigarette, a spoon, and that's it. And you think, I'll bring him stuff, but he doesn't want your stuff.
He doesn't want it.
And you think like, oh, what about a TV? Well, then he has to sign up with a service. He's not going to do that. What about a phone? Well, he's not going to call the phone company and get a phone. He doesn't have ID. Nothing. He doesn't have an income. He can't pay bills.
Right.
He doesn't even know what to do with the address. And the reason he's there, it seems solvable, but he is traumatized from an early age, and most of them were traumatized very early, or fetal alcohol syndrome. In his case, I didn't expose it in the movie, but he was 15 and learning to drive, and he begged his parents to let him drive to the hockey game, and he crashed the car and killed his parents. Oh. So he said he went straight to the liquor cabinet and never closed the doors since, right? So he's been alcoholic for 25 years at that point, every single day, drinking a bottle of goof, as he called it.
Bottle of goof. What characters in this shit. They're so endearing. Yeah, like the whole thing just, it feels very skateboard, snowboard culture adjacent.
Yeah, sure.
These guys are surviving outdoors with a smile on their face, and in a small community that has each other's backs, and they're doing something really cool with the carts.
Oh,
it's insane.
There's a bunch of bravado there, and who's the best at it. And
totally.
Technical, like which carts and all that kind of stuff.
It's so fun. It's such a fun and important movie. Yeah. And so when I've also heard a podcast on curb cuts. It's something I wouldn't have thought about at all.
Sure.
It's on 99% Invisible, and it gives a bit of a history about curb cuts, because pre-curb cuts, if you had a wheelchair, you were fucked.
Yeah.
You couldn't get on a sidewalk. You're going down the fucking road.
Yeah.
People are buzzing by you.
Yeah.
And like the height of a curb is not conducive to a wheelchair. It just isn't.
Unless you're like extreme,
unless
like
you're
a
extreme.
very strong paraplegic that can just do that shit.
Right.
But even though curb cuts that they have, unfortunately, even today, they're not helpful.
No, yeah, a lot of them are. That's what they were talking about. Was like a lot of them are kind of lip service, right? Yeah. Like so, we pass laws as a society that we want to make places accessible.
Yeah.
And I think in that they also talk about handicap parking spots, right?
Sure.
Because if your parking spot's not wide enough to get your chair out of your car, you're trapped. You can't get out. So then you're fucked.
That's right.
And it talks about how, like, it took somebody saying, like, look, we cannot exclude these people from everything we fucking do. They're able-bodied people, but our landscape, our terrain doesn't make it available to them.
No, I quit doing it, and I might do it again if the need arises. But I have a van that I drive, and if someone didn't have a wheelchair tag in their window, in their mirror, I would move their car with my van. I'd shove it forward into the ditch.
Did you ever get in trouble for doing that?
Well, one time this lady ran out going, "Don't do it. I'm here to pick up my mom." And she had a legit excuse. It was in front of the Vancouver Art Gallery. She parked in front of it in the parallel spot that I rely on, because there's like 3 in the downtown core of Vancouver.
Right.
And here's this car without a tag hanging. I'm like, I'm fucking moving this car. So I just pushed it forward out of the way. And because I have a V8, so I'm going to be able to do that. And she comes running out pushing it out of the way, yelling at me. And I'm like, oh, what's this going to be about? And she's like, my mom's elderly and needs to get to the car. So I was just temporarily doing it. Everybody says that, right?
Everyone. Yeah,
and
of
so,
course.
yeah, of course she had an excuse. And yes, she should, but that doesn't mean take the one spot out of 3 that are in all of downtown Vancouver to do that,
Right.
Put your hazards on and pull up the curb or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's a wheelchair on the sign, not a fossil. So like, you need some fossil signs, I guess.
Old people spots.
Some bowel,
family spots.
Bowel spot. Like, you got bad bowels, you need a spot. Okay, well, here's one close to the restroom. Give me a spot like far away. I just need to be able to get out. I'll happily wheel around. Right. I need to be able to get out.
Yeah. It's not the closeness that you're about. It's the width. Yeah. The ability to get out of your vehicle and go about your day.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not there yet.
Yeah. And it went into businesses and restaurants and spacing, like the spacing in your house. Yeah. Like, I'm like, if anyone wants to know what the spacing needs to be, just go into your house, look at this spacing. Yeah. Because even the boardroom, right? Like, we're putting racks really close together.
Well, I build my stuff so it's wheelchair plus a person.
Yeah,
that's
perfect.
my space.
So you could wheel past a person.
No, yeah.
If they were in your house
or with me, walking with me.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have to be like, oh, it's narrow, I'll let him go ahead or whatever. It's
exactly.
Just like room and I know, all accessibility is an expense. So, but it's time to like.
What does that mean? Explain what that means. All accessibility is an expense.
If you have to retrofit, you're going to be doing a renovation for it. It should be built right from the first place. And being heard in 1996, having listened to them tell me in 96, wait 1 or 2 years for me to get my body back if I'm going to. And now it's been 26 years and I'm still like arguing and pointing out curb cuts are wrong. Same with inclusivity. Like, you go to a hockey game and you get 2 choices to sit. The other 30,000 people can sit whatever they want. Why can't I sit wherever I want? I know that's a cost. They're not going to put wheelchair spots throughout the arena, but I've been to arenas that did. So why are we cast to the side? Like, I get the word disabled, but I'm injured. I'm actually, I should be called an athlete, because trying to live with like 12 muscles left, everything that you've got above your chest, and 2 forearm muscles, and that's it. That's athletic, man. Like, try traveling the world with that. You can't use your hands. You can't walk. You can't use stomach muscles, no back muscles, and we're going to send you around the world. Go try it. That's athletic endeavor.
Absolutely.
So the fact when they say disabled, it's different from a lot of, you're not born with something. You didn't acquire a disease. Like, if you break your leg, you're not disabled.
Right.
I broke my neck, but I'm disabled. Like, and I look a lot of able bodies, and I'm doing far more. So why am I in the disabled category? It's upsetting. What's disabled is like society. Disabled is buildings. Disabled is poorly designed curb cuts. Like, I'm here doing everything I can to live the best life, a full life, express myself through all these different art forms, but it's the buildings and the infrastructure that's disabled.
Absolutely.
So
it's I remember you were telling a story about your art show, your own art show. You couldn't get into your art show. Yeah. That's like, so there was it a showcase on an injured artist, and they did that, or they were trying to be like, look, we it doesn't matter about your status. Your art holds itself on its own, but nobody thought like, oh, actually he can't even get into the fucking space.
It's a local gallery here that on Salt Spring Island called the Man Hall. It's a 1908 building, and they did build a wheelchair ramp, but it's 2 different rises, and the ramp's broken in parts. It has tree roots on it, and it's sketchy. And if I put one of the members of the board in a wheelchair at the top of that and sent them down, they're going to the hospital. So I don't know why they would expect me to be able to go up that. Plus, it's an old design, that building, and it has a mezzanine. Half the art is up on the mezzanine, which I can't go to. So I recently had a piece in there, and I specifically asked it to be on the mezzanine, so I didn't have to talk about it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, it's a joke, but people ask, like, Murray, do you have anything in here? I'd be like, yeah, it's up there.
Nice.
Go check it out. I'll wait here, Why are you waiting here? I'm like, well, it's not accessible, this building, so.
Right. So have you taken that on as a personal crusade? Have you joined any groups that that are fighting for better curb cuts, that kind of thing? Because I'm sure there's got to be a community that's working on this like 24/7.
I think like being able to discuss it like I am right now on a podcast and through other media forms I've been involved with, like that's my best opportunity to expose the issue that's still being outstanding. I would love to actually guerrilla attack some spots and fix them myself with a group of friends.
That's a great idea.
So that there's that, but I'm overbooked. So my goal is to like try and speak against ableism.
Sure.
I mean, that is the biggest issue right now, is that people want you to be better, or can't you wait to walk again? I'm like, I mean, I just need more help doing what I'm doing. I'm already able. Like, I just need more assistance. I need funding. I need beach mats and shit. Like, can't get to any beaches here. Like, this New Year's, counselor in White Rock finally got them to put a beach mat so she could go in the polar bear swim on New Year's Day. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But that's 2026.
We're in 2026.
I mean,
exactly.
I've been to other countries in 1997 that were already accessible. Why is it so behind here? You know, it comes down to an expense. It comes down to it's easier to push us into a corner, give us these labels. But
And I mean, I'm not blaming my education here because, man, I'm finding out like I was on the wrong side of thinking about, you know, indigenous inclusion, women's inclusion, people of color, people of culture, and like way down that list is ableism. Like, like when someone said to me, if Sam Bertolino said on the podcast, until Burton's run by a disabled black queer woman, you're not going to get the kind of inclusion what you need. I guffawed at disabled. I was like, why would you include that in snowboarding? And then I went home or immediately felt overwhelmed with like, oh shit, I'm ableist. Like, not because I chose to be. It's not like I'm like, fuck all those guys.
I'm going to go back to adaptive surfing as an example. On that first wave I rode in Oceanside and got back to the beach, I had cramps from smiling. Like, I was so cramped out because I was just like, I couldn't believe I was in the water, surfed, was out in the lineup, bikinis, like surfer dudes talking shit to each other. It was amazing. I'd never been behind a wave. I got to the beach. I was so happy. I'd done it. I'd driven there. And you know what? Everybody else was happier than I was. And everybody else were the volunteers. They helped a member of their world get in the water and surf. And they wanted me to do it again so they could feel that again. And I had never seen that. And that's why I really took up surfing, because I'm going to get tearful, but that changed everything. Like, to see that. I was impressive. I know my buddies would do it with snowboarding or skateboarding or whatever, but to see it in surfing and to be immediately involved with a new family was pretty great.
Yeah. That's incredible.
That's what communities should do. They shouldn't be like, oh, we'll fix those stairs one day.
Right. I really, really like what you said about, because in skateboarding, guerrilla construction groups have existed since the 90s.
Sure, yeah.
You put on a Visi vest, you put on a hard hat, you show up with a van, you angle grind some shit off.
Yeah.
And
next morning it's accessible.
Right, or you're doing concrete work,
or the opposite.
All that stuff.
We can go like some Tom Green shit on some of these places and just like make them not accessible at all. Like, make so able bodies can't use them. Like, I really want to have an art show where the ceiling's this high. So every able-body that comes in has to be like...
That's a great idea.
And I'm like, here's your glass of wine, and it's in a 9-pound glass. And the toilet is on a slope and 3 feet away from where you have to piss from. So
I love it.
Everything's fucked up for the able-bodies, but I'll just be in there having a good time. And then you could like pop up once in a while in a little dome and get a breather, but there'll just be Donald Trump videos playing. So you still got to leave.
That's a beautiful idea.
Which I won't have to see either, because I'll be down here.
I fucking love it, Mur.
Yeah.
It's cool because you've lived in this space for a really long time.
Yeah.
And so you've seen it with a fresh pair of eyes, right?
Yeah.
Like there is an infrastructure based around the disabled label that's, people feel like, oh, well, it's good enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, You don't.
One day
yeah.
we'll fix it.
Or one day we'll
I'll
fix
only
it,
park
right.
here for a minute. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. All of that is
Yeah.
like, this isn't something that we're attacking as a group.
Yeah.
Where there's, or maybe we are. I don't know. Are there Black Lives Matters type protests for making things accessible? I don't know.
I mean, you're right. There's a calling there that I could follow up on, but man, I'm sorry. I'm just pursuing so many things right now. The best thing I can do is like bullshit about it and tell jokes and like try and make it, put it out there, so people see. I mean, that's the goal of all my artwork, is like so people can be exposed to stories that are happening from the artist's point of view.
When did you start with painting? I can remember the first ghost stuff.
Yeah. So I went to Mexico in 2018 to write a book about all the stuff that I've been telling you about. And I wrote 90 pages, and I'd been influenced by some Mexican murals, and I'm like, I should give this a shot. We have a garage in the Airbnb with some blank walls. It'd be cool to hang out there and smoke cigarettes and drink tequila and do a mural. But I didn't know how to paint, so I just went to the house paint store. And they only had primary colors, which was amazing. So I just bought all these primary colors and some painter's brushes, not art brushes, and went at it. And Instagram told me, like, actually it was Adrian McInnes said, you need to get on canvas. So I looked around. I'm like, fuck, I'm in this little town outside of Sayulita. There's no art store here. But I noticed election signs on the walls everywhere that were framed digital printed canvas of the politicians. So I hired homeless people, Carts of Darkness style, to go around and steal them for me with a bounty on them. And they stopped bringing them to me. I'm like, dudes, why were you? I was paying you. What's up? You only brought me like 20. I need more. And they're like, the cartel's mad. And I'm like, oh fuck, that means these politicians are the cartel. Like, they're leaving those signs up so they know which cartel they want running the town. That was their gang sign.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck, I got 20 of them in my garage right now.
You're going to get killed.
So I started painting them all black, and the process of painting them black immediately felt conceptual in the way that, like, I was, I'm making these my own. And I'm starting with black, which is the opposite of a typical painter would start with a white canvas. And I'm like, I'm already into this painting. I know what's going to come out of it because I can see in this black paint, like the bit of the politician behind there, the embossed words that are on the digital print of the canvas. And I'm starting to form my ideas. I could hear fireworks outside. I can hear a fiesta going on, music. I could just imagine what's going on. Bulls are outside. And those all became the elements of my paintings, using black, using house paint, and what was going on in Mexico around me.
There's
that Virgin Mary.
Virgin Mary, yeah. The Virgin Mary thing.
Well, at that point I was homesick, because I'm like, I miss my like skate buddies. I'd been meeting people in Mexico. It was great, but nobody knew who I was. Like, nobody connected with me. I'm like, I miss. And I see this Virgin Mary figure everywhere, actually Virgin of Guadalupe. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, if I take her out, it's a hoodie, which all my friends wear. So I can like put hoodies on all these characters. I won't have to draw faces or paint hands, which are difficult. I could just tell stories through this ghost figure, this hoodie figure, and that became a thing. I'm now slowly moving away from it, but because I want to do more actual figures and draw faces and hands.
Wow.
But yeah, so that was like a big learning. I came back a painter. I went down to be a writer, and I came back a painter. I got a solo show. It was a Emily Carr alumni show at the Bank of Montreal, and I got grants after that and won a Salt Spring National Art Prize entry, and was stoked on that, and ended up moving to Salt Spring and been painting since.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember at the West Beach kickoff, I saw the painting and I recognized your signature on it. Plus, there were some elements that I recognized, but it was not a normal.
No, it was the next
Murray
next
Siple. Yeah, it was something completely different.
And it was great to get to this different stage because I was painting my own history. It wasn't reference material that I'd sourced images from. It was like, oh, I'm putting nicks in this one. I'm getting someone to do a grind on the back of a cop car. Like, I'm going to put the Expo 86 gondola with someone getting a BJ in it. And all my memories are in this painting. So when I put it together, I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I know what this is. And like, the tools I use now are spray paint, gold leaf, paint markers, paint pens, house paint, and I've learned to use all those, and I was able to put them all into that painting in a way that I finally was like a musician who was on stage and felt confident they could play whatever they wanted.
Sick.
I mean, maybe I can't paint whatever I want, but I really felt confident in that painting. It was my history, my style, and I had free reign to do what I wanted, so it worked.
It came out really, really well.
Thank you.
And so there's another added element to it with the West Beach nostalgia, that it's like a connection to someone who's never left our community, right?
Yeah.
Which is the whole theme of the West Beach return, West Fourth.
Yeah.
Like it was better the way it was when we were there.
Well, I think I tried to amplify that in that painting, because it was, I mean, I can't speak to what 20-year-olds are experiencing now, but I put up 30-year-old video clips on YouTube, and they all say, I wish I was skating in the 90s, because it ain't like that anymore.
Sure, right. It's moved from, the videos were showing things that were aspirational for the regular guys,
right,
to being, I guess it's supposed to be inspirational. I don't know what it is. It's like the huge chasm that I felt with the NBA, right? Like when I was a kid, and we're doing the basketball, time in PE.
Sure.
It doesn't have anything to do with the NBA.
Right.
It's just very simple, learning the rules of the game with the general public.
Sure.
And on TV they'd say like, and then Charlie cut the bottom out of the peach basket. There'd be like the Canadian Heritage Minute about basketball.
Yeah.
But that didn't have anything to do with the NBA either. And now it's like Ken Ock and those guys are the peach basket guys from snowboarding.
Sure.
And the NBA of snowboarding is whatever it is, Shaun White's league.
There's always progress, though.
Yeah, the Olympics or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
It's not attainable to someone who starts now.
Sure.
They'd need to be discovered as a young, coachable kid, and then not get those injuries all the way through.
Sure.
Whereas people who were going to the Olympics were smoking weed every day, or worse, cigarettes, drinking heavily.
Sure.
Like, there was no training going on for most people.
No.
Most people weren't even taking it very seriously.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was not any training that I remember. There was some stretching. There was sometimes workouts or swimming, but there was no training.
Training, right.
Ross Bagliati was the only one training.
Craig Kelly, sure,
Craig
yeah.
Kelly,
Yeah, exactly. But it was a fun time because you could imagine your way into a career as a filmer. But
you also had to take some heavy risks, because it's hard to not get caught up in tricks or everything. Right?
True.
Tricks aren't everything. Style is everything. Style's always been everything. It's cool to have a faster and faster and faster car or motorbike or something, but it's actually cool when you just drive it slow through the intersection and piss everybody off. And then that's what makes people look at you. You're driving slow in a fast car. Fuck. And movies like Whiskey, that was a theme. Try and reproduce it, make it better. No one does. That's been left as an iconic piece. Oh, maybe they have, but oh God, no. I just went and saw the Whiskey documentary, and the groundbreakingness of it. Actually, Jeff Tremaine in the video says he stole clips from the Whiskey movie for the sizzle reel for Jackass. Right.
It was so real. The thing about Kearns and Johnson is that they weren't joking around. I mean, they were making skits and stuff that was joking around, but they were cynical and making a statement and actually just showing raw, real, actual life of two people that have deep childhood trauma issues. Very similar to Cards of Darkness in the vibe of on some level, it felt voyeuristic as opposed to, the normal movies that we were used to watching. I saw Whiskey in Hawaii the first time I saw it, and I came away from it going, I could be in that movie, the movie. Right. I was only watching the snowboarding. Yeah. Well, I'd smash bottles on my head too. So it was kind of I was like, I know that trick. You hit it in the middle You know, everybody freaks out.
Yeah.
But there was so much more to it now, going back now and seeing just
I bet you they wish
havoc.
they did more interviewee stuff back then. Not necessarily talking headish, but like just a few more interviews. I know I wish I had captured more interviews at that time.
The behind the scenes stuff.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And just, you know, actually like, how are you doing? Like that kind of question, you know.
Wow, yeah,
You know,
Clayton.
Getting people in the morning when they wake up, like, so you good about today or what? Like,
Yeah.
because you went off last night. Are you going to be all right? I never asked those questions. And, you know, I watched films all through art school that did ask those questions, but I focused on the trick. I focused on, is there enough snow? What time's the heli? Like, all those things got in the way. And I'm making a film, but I'm not asking these important questions. So when Carts of Darkness came along, I was like, I'm not making this film without a ton of questions. You know, so that was a big deal. And but yeah, I think today I don't watch a lot of skateboard and snowboard movies, but I do know that it's missing that, like, take action for yourself, you know, like show people story and their tricks.
Yeah. Todd Richards was really vocal about that with a couple of years back. The X Games had just gone to influencers in between, so there's no stories of the athletes.
Right.
It just had lost so much of its,
Sure.
like, the why. Like, why are you even doing this?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
These athletes are risking their lives, and you're going to cut to, like, a mumble rapper? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It was completely off the rails.
Yeah.
It's not gone all the way back.
Yeah.
And there's a new narrative, right?
Yeah.
The inclusivity narrative is a part of what's going on now.
Well, our personal stories are what's important. Like, I'm going to attack this adaptive film in the same way. I'm going to expose people that showing something that people haven't seen before. Like, there's dude that Jose Martinez, triple amputee, so one arm surfer, destroys out there on the waves. I don't even know how the dude swims with one arm, but he's out there ripping. And I just like these moments where people are doing something you would never expect, not just doing the tricks that are expected, but accomplishing and making it through and breaking through and overcoming adversity and having a real human story. I think the microcosm of the little skateboarding world or the little snowboarding world or little standing sideways worlds that are out there don't get that the rest of the world also want to be involved. They want to watch a movie that they can also relate to. They're not going to know you did like 9 spins. They don't care about it. They want to know how you got to the 9 spins through your life and what happened after. And, you know, maybe there's unique ways to find that. I still think someone should make a movie like that's gang related where they have to steal and sell shit to pay for the movie to be made, like something like that, some concept that's beyond just like, we have the best team, we're going to the best locations, and here's some really cool music. It has to be a story.
Yeah, because the whole way through in skateboarding, snowboarding, it's above baseline inclusivity, right? Like when Alex Chalmers is at the park and a kid comes with a Kmart board with the plastic still on it, his mom's like, I don't know, Billy, you know, go skateboarding, you know? Alex is pulling the plastic off, loosening the trucks, holding the kid's hands while he drops into Sealand.
Yeah.
Alex Chalmers is doing this.
Yes.
So we have that in our society that, you know, you're at a skate park and the person that gets the biggest cheer for the session is the kid who's been trying to drop in the whole time and then drops in and rolls across the flat.
Exactly.
And everybody's stoked.
Yes.
So that goes for everyone in the world, like the one-armed surfer, all these people. That was the thing about snowboarding and skateboarding, was that just watching people go from never doing this to being addicted to doing it because it's so fun. You're like, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you still got that. I mean, you were exposed to it at a young age.
Yeah.
You've got a full life that's got like so many facets. So no matter what you're going to do, it's going to be epic.
Yeah.
You think in this big way. That's really inspiring, dude. I really, really like it.
Thank you.
And it's been nice for me personally. Can't speak for anyone else, but I've heard it in the community too.
Oh, thanks.
To see you surfing. Right? Like, it's like Murray surfing. It's like, that's the same thing as the kid dropping in. It's the same deal.
Yeah.
And yeah, personally, I will say I am sorry that I had never thought, like, you know what, you might have wanted to be at some of these events and included in our community still, like, hey, this is fucking Murray Siple.
Yeah.
He's here handing out bibs for this contest, or he's the fucking judge at this turn 6. We got him up here because fuck, he wants to be here and we want him here. Yeah.
I mean, I love the community and I don't want to be away from it. But at the same time, you know, I had to go out in the world and attack other shit. I had to live in other communities around the world and learn stuff and figure stuff out. I had to rebuild myself, you know. So I also haven't been part of the skate and snowboard community because I had to reach out to other worlds, you know, and learn new things and try new things. But, you know, it's an honor to be back on this and be able to tell some stories.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm like, shit, how do we get him involved? Oh, it's a snowboard podcast, and he's on it because he's a snowboarder. Yeah. And he's a part of our community, so that's super dope.
Yeah. I mean, I brought a skateboard to New York to try and skate on it in the exoskeleton. That was pretty fun.
That's pretty amazing.
I was only able to stand on the tail because the exoskeleton can only lift its foot 2 inches. So I just stood on the tail like I was about to drop in on a ramp. But
you're going to do it again, right?
Oh, yeah. I did it twice this year already. And then next year there'll be a new version. Hopefully I could try and get on there. I dropped in at, I didn't drop in. I went by fucking Awesome in New York and was like, I got to walk in this exoskeleton an hour. Can I borrow a skateboard? And they're like, who is this dude? I'm like, Mike McKinley sent me in Baku. And they're like, okay, you can use my board. And the guy ran out with a hockey board. And I'm like, don't you have a fucking Awesome board? And he's like, no, I use this hockey board. So I brought it. And the people at the exoskeleton place was like, well, we're glad you're here, but what are you doing with the skateboard? And I'm like, I'm just going to skate on it. And I brought artwork. I brought art material. I'm going to do a painting too while I'm here. So, you know, everybody else that had been in the exoskeleton up to that point was just using it for therapy, but I was trying to do shit. I was like, can I have a smoke? Like, wouldn't mind standing up and having a smoke. They're like, you're not smoking in here, dude.
I love it. Murray, that's so fucking awesome. Right. Because
well, push boundaries. You know, that's what skating and snowboarding is supposed to be. And that's what the videos should be as well. Like, push shit. Like, I'll be all right with the first guy standing and smoking an exoskeleton. I'll take that.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
And that's this proof of what you're talking about, that you didn't spiral and you brought this new, like, this, your same outlook to this new challenge.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because snowboarding is a challenge.
Yeah.
Filming is a challenge. Getting gear to work in the cold, all the things that we had to do to get these, you know, just to get it off the ground. Yeah. And then we kind of got it too far off the ground so fast. Now it's at the Olympics. It's kind of like, put it back on the ground. Like, what the fuck happened here?
Actually, at the last Olympics was the first time I learned to figure out how many spins they're doing by counting their face every time it came around. I never knew that trick.
I don't know it.
Nobody was doing anything beyond a 720 when I was...
Right. Yeah, Todd Richards was talking about how in gymnastics, you don't have to explain any of the tricks to the gymnastics judges and people and the media. Yeah. But in snowboarding, they're still doing the thing like, well, what is this? Yeah, they know all that stuff. I was wondering,
when is that going to progress? Like, when are they going to put like a little kicker in there or a little bit of a transition on one end? Like, can't they do that? Does it always have to be like, he's going to do a triple lux back by a triple lux?
Yeah.
It's the first time 2 triple luxes have been done. How about a little kicker?
How about a kicker?
How about a wedge ramp in the middle of the ring?
Yeah, that is epic. Yeah, because they've got people skating down fucking streets in Quebec City.
Yeah. Where's that in the Olympics?
Yeah, crazy stuff. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think aside from cross country skiing and shooting a gun, the crazy stuff started with snowboarding. Sure. Right.
Sure.
And then people were like, "Oh, this is good to watch. Yeah. This is good. This is good for business." Yeah. But it was really bad for snowboarding.
Yeah.
Because when you bring it to the masses, it's crazy because there's a new thing happening in snowboarding in China, and it's just different than what we have over here. Wow. And they own it their own way. And it's really kind of exciting.
Like indoor?
There's stuff going on at the indoor, but there's just a lot of, it's almost like ski ballet.
Okay.
Which I'm not like, I'm not like, hooray, we're going to have ski ballet or whatever. But it's like, hooray that it's like new and fresh and owned by the people that are doing it.
Sure.
We rode on an indoor with Ken Hawk, and twice we were on with people in their 70s on the chairlift, and we were like, why did you start snowboarding? They're like, because it's cool.
Yeah.
And we were like, cool. That's great. That's a good answer.
It's sort of happening with surfing. They're building more and more wave pools, which at first I think the surfing community was like, I don't know about that. But now it's like makes sense because more people can get trained and learn and be in. And like if you live in Palm Springs, or they're building one on Vancouver Island, actually, that you can just go to and you don't have to get out in the ocean. You can be introduced to surfing and then get to the ocean.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
And I think there's going to be people that do those just like wave pools.
Well, now
for their
wave
whole
pool
life.
air tricks are going insane. That's the biggest thing I think right now in surfing. I'm not doing anything like that. I just lie forward and hope I get into the pocket.
Well, once they've got a material metal suit for you,
Yeah.
then you're doing tricks in a wave pool.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit. We're still, it's cool because we're at this age where our parents' generation were done.
Yeah.
If you had a physical job, you worked in a coal mine, 55, you were sitting down the rest of your life, smoking cigarettes, fishing, drinking beers, and dying.
Yeah.
Like, we're not there.
No.
We're not anywhere close.
No. I'm trying not to get close. I mean, it'll get there, but now I feel like I'm setting up a world for myself that I can continue to travel to surf spots, even if it's just a lay on a board.
That's dope.
You know, I don't have to surf. Actually, an embarrassing story but fun one is I went to Hawaii in October for practice session, and I had everything lined up, and it was a lot of work. I went by myself. I met a team there, but it was just a lot of work travel-wise. And by the time I got in the water, I was exhausted. I was trying to like be all stoked, like, oh fuck, finally there's good waves. The team's here. The water's 78 degrees. It's beautiful. I just went to sleep. I was on the board in the water behind the lineup napping, and I woke up like, wow, that was the best sleep of my life, man. Like, if I could do this for the rest of my life, it's gonna be pretty fun. I mean, you're out there. There's like, it's just quiet, the water and the click clack of the board, and yeah, it's just so peaceful. So if I live out my life getting to surf spots and sleeping on a board, sign me up. And
That's a whole new sport. Yeah, it's a whole new thing.
That's nap. Yeah.
That's amazing, Mur.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me out to your place. Is there anything that we haven't covered? We've only done an hour and a half. We could do 2.5 more hours if we wanted.
There's a couple things. Like I got sponsored. So not for like my riding ability, but to be a surfer, an adaptive surfer that needs a board. And so a company and a foundation in Hawaii called Indie Club, they have sent me money to get a board made and shaped. So being in Canada, I've tried to source out some shapers here. I haven't really found any, but I did know of Roberts Composites in North Van. They make all sorts of carbon fiber or floating craft of one kind or another, and he took me on, so I'll be starting in this month to go over there and build a board with him.
Design and build a custom board.
Custom adaptive surfboard. And what that means is it has to have high flotation. It has to have kind of like a dugout so my body can lay in it. It needs handles for not only me, but my push team to get me out in the wave. Obviously, stability is a huge thing, and you need to maintain speed, and fin position is different because you're not standing, your weight's forward, and so it's pretty exciting to build my own custom board.
The first thing I'm thinking when I'm seeing these events, I'm like, how dangerous is it? Like, if you fall off the board and you're 100 yards from where you started, your team's not, like, what the fuck happens?
I mean, it is dangerous, and for a lot of reasons. I do wear a life jacket most of the time. That life jacket has a high buoyancy chest, so don't have a choice. It'll flip you over. It'll flip you over, and you just wait, and they come get you. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm not in big waves. I'm in, I think the three foot's my biggest set.
Sure.
And that's huge when you're laying down.
Triple overhead when you're laying down, right? Yeah.
So I'm not going to get pummeled out there.
Sure.
Big wave riding. So that's safe. And, generally they're at safe beaches, Waikiki Beach. Like, it's like the last time I surfed there, at first wave, I got hit in the head by someone else's board. I had a helmet.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, first wave, someone's bored right into my head because there's like 20 people on the wave. Because the waves in Waikiki Beach at Queens Break are wide, so they can be ridden by that many people, but they're kooks, you know.
I've been a kook there, dude. Yeah,
sure.
I've been a kook there.
That's great, but you know, you get a board fired at your head, and that's
great.
That's the dangerous part. I got stabbed with a piece of
the urchin.
No.
The
sea
coral.
Thank you.
Sure.
I got stabbed by a piece of coral in my leg, and it's still healing because like the bacteria in that water is
it's
bad.
gnarly.
Yeah,
it's gnarly.
So it looks beautiful, and it is warm, and it feels so good to be out there finally. But you're swimming in bacteria water. I've gotten sick the 3 times I went to Hawaii. I've been on antibiotics every time I came home.
All 3.
Yeah.
What's going on on the island? Is that new, or is that it's always been that?
Queens Break, Waikiki Beach is heavily polluted from people, just from them being in the water. It's sunscreen and all that stuff. Plus global warming. The water's 78, 79, 80 degrees. It's way too warm. It can't. So it's
breeding ground for bacteria.
Yeah.
Gross.
So the dangers are microscopic.
Yeah.
In some cases.
Yeah. There was a guy, BK from Hawaii, that was telling a story of touching an urchin with his finger, being frozen, couldn't talk, couldn't anything, like couldn't even blink his eyes, and having to watch as he's heli evacuated to, you know, and the doctors are looking and looking and looking, and then they finally find it on his finger. Oh, there's this, and they give him the antidote, and he just goes, oh my God, thank you. I didn't surf after that. I didn't want to surf. I'm like, that's scary as fuck.
That is. Yeah, there's that stuff. You know, people say, aren't you scared of sharks? I'm like, fuck, man, put blood in the water. If I could get bit by a shark, I could get on more podcasts.
Yeah, you sure could.
Quadriplegic surfer, now amputee from getting bit.
Rip the leg off.
Bite me.
Oh my God.
So I am not scared of sharks, and it's a stupid thing to be scared of them because they're not there for you. But which everybody or a lot of people think still. But
yeah, we're pretty ignorant.
You get out there on the board, it's so loud, which surprises me. Like the waves, the people, the team, you're focused on trying to not fall off the board. You're not thinking about what's below the water. Unfortunately, you get dinged once in a while, like I did with the coral or the bacteria, and hopefully a shark, but you're not thinking about that stuff.
Oh, fuck. Your sense of humor is so good, dude. Did you have it the whole way through? Did you lose it for a couple of years in there?
Oh, no, man. My dad was a real joke teller, and I think I learned from him. He actually told standard jokes, but I just, it's a good way to break the ice. So
yeah.
And it's maybe cynical, but it's creative. Like, try and think of something funny. It's just a challenge, so I try and roll it in when I can. Another thing that I should tell you is that Carts of Darkness is going to be made into a feature film, like a live acted out film. So I just got a call in November from someone that is writing a script about it. And
it's been what do they call that when it's been not licensed. Someone wants to make the movie of it.
Yeah, someone has greenlit it to be written as a screenplay.
Sick.
And then we're going to shop it and try and get it funded to make a feature film.
Wow, dude. So, with actors portraying you and Big Al and all the people in the movie.
And it's, the Carts of Darkness is the Trojan horse into the story, but it would be the before and the after that are equally important. Like
totally.
How, like the snowboard filmmaking guy, like what he went through to end up making Carts of Darkness is a story on its own, right? So that's kind of what we're working with right now. So, there's been some interest. I don't want to spray and say famous Hollywood names, but that seems to always happen. So some famous Hollywood names have been like, we're interested in that. Send it to us when you got it written. So
fuck yeah,
we're on the edge. There's a Vancouver writer, director, producer named Ryan Sidhu who called me last month, and we had a couple Zooms about it. And again, I made him laugh because I told him behind the scenes Carts of Darkness stories that he was like, these are movie scenes for sure. Like during the filming of Carts of Darkness, I had this girlfriend that I met on a dating app back then, and I had to break up with her because she got busted transporting money for the HA that I didn't know about. So I had to call my family lawyer in and was embarrassed. I'm like, I met this girl and now she's living with me and now she's busted in the States with money. I didn't know anything about this shit, but can you get her home for me? He's like, okay,
God.
I'll go to court for you or whatever. And he made some calls and she was released. And when she got home, I broke up with her. But yeah, she tried to, she knew a fear of mine was to die burning in my house because, being paralyzed, if your house caught fire, you can get trapped in there. So
Fuck yeah.
she tried to blow her car up in my driveway by stepping on the gas of the car while her doors were locked and revving the engine until it overheated.
Oh my God.
So me and the neighbors were out there trying to get her to stop doing it while smoke's coming out from underneath the hood. And yeah, she did stop, but she got close. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Murray.
and that's during the filming. So like next day I had to be up and back, not on set, but on scene trying to film these guys. And I've got this wild woman that's been arrested in the States and then she's calling and trying to jump off balconies and shit. So there was stuff going on at Carts of Darkness that isn't in the movie that was maybe more movie worthy than the film itself.
That's unfucking believable.
Yeah, it was crazy times.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Hollywood or movies in general, what did I just watch that we were like, fuck, they don't make movies like this anymore. They're very the opposite of brave, scared.
Right.
Everything is let's make a sequel of something or a remake of something, turn this into a musical or something. So yeah, Carts of Darkness as a live action movie could be pretty fucking brave and pretty fucking awesome. Yeah, there's still stuff out there that's good, but it's just everything's so watered down.
Yeah, I watched something just the other night, a movie called Lurker. Have you heard about it? It's about a LA influencer that tries to get in with the cool crowd of the music scene, and he tries to make their music videos for them, and he kind of connives his way into their world, and then it becomes a thriller because they can't get rid of this dude. He's kind of a sociopath, and it was pretty good. I was pretty impressed. I think it was an A24 film, and it hit some proper notes for filmmaking in it.
Yeah, the old filmmaking, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, we're talking about award-winning films.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely stuff like Apocalypse.
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now. Oh my God.
I do. I'm thankful for Carts of Darkness because I still get fan mail almost on the daily, and a lot of it is younger people that want to get into filmmaking and ask me how I made carts. How did you do it? And, two of them in the past week have written in and be like, I love the shots. Do you want to hear about my shots that I have? And I'm like, well, I don't even know what you're making. So
sure.
I kind of don't want to know about your shots. Or they want to know what camera should I get? The Sony A7X, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, fuck, man, shoot on anything. Just make films. You don't need a special camera. Actually, you need 100 cameras. So get a trailer and fill it, and you'll figure out which one you need for which scene, because that's really how it works.
Yeah.
Filming movies with one camera. Anyways, you just want to get that one cool camera, and then you're in, right? But it's
in the world of YouTube videos and ChatGPT we were talking about before we started the thing, it's real life, real humans making real movies. Yeah. That's a completely different thing.
Well, there's language in cinematography, right? Focal distances mean something in the storyline, shot composition is specific. That's Alfred Hitchcock, all his shot compositions made you edgy all the time, put you on edge. You knew something horrifying was coming because the composition of the shot made you uneasy. You don't see that in ChatGPT videos or AI created videos.
Right.
It's not filmmaking. It's visuals.
Yeah.
But it's not filmmaking. And going to black, silences, all those things. Those aren't they try and there's apps to cut that shit out. They'll cut out the spaces between your words, so it goes that's not filmmaking.
Yeah, I've started to listen to podcasts at 1.8, and then I cannot bring it back to 1. Even when I'm like, oh wait, I want to listen intently to this, it's a 1.2. Right. Cutting out the spaces in between because I don't have enough time for these 4-hour podcasts or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, as a listener, you have the right to do that. As a maker, your job is to, have control over it, so
Totally.
you can tell the story properly. And there's that language that is missing. There's a visual language, an audio language, a script language. Like, all makes films what they are.
Yeah.
Not including, not excluding the talent as well.
Oh my God, totally. Yeah, I was at Dave Sione's, and after we recorded, he said, "Oh yeah, from that conversation you reminded me." He brings a shoebox out of the cupboard and opens it up and takes out this lens, and he goes, and I think it was a Bolex or something. It was something from Hollywood. He'd worked on a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
And he'd been able to lift this insane, priceless lens that bends light in just a certain way.
Sure.
He's so excited about it. And I was looking at it going, oh, and I'd like pick it up and just, whoa, don't touch, don't put any fingerprints on that. Or I remember being like, I don't get it. I don't get what this is. He's like, that was probably made in like 1917 or something for Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, there was directors that had, like Stanley Kubrick had lenses made for one shot.
For one shot.
One shot. Like a candlelit shot where there was one candle in the foreground and one 100 feet away.
Yeah.
And he needed someone in the middle of those two cameras and all two candles and everything to be in focus, which is hard to do in low light. And he had NASA make it. So he had one NASA-made lens.
When you go see, like when I watch 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I do.
Take a photo while you're doing it.
Yeah, perfect. And don't let me forget to get a photo of you for the thumbnail too.
Okay.
When I watch 2001: A Space Odyssey, and even knowing the pen shot, like I've seen the behind the scenes, how they stuck it to glass or something, they're moving the glass around. I'm completely taken by the movie the whole way through.
Sure.
Just every part of it. I'm in space. I'm on the moon. I'm in the past when I'm watching that movie. And that was 60s, right? That
was my point with the younger guys asking what cameras they need and what shots they're going to do. And I'm like, it was done in the 60s. It was done in the 50s. Crystal clear 4K cinematography on 35 and 70 millimeter films been done.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need new equipment. You need to worry about getting it right.
Right.
Just trying to get the shot, learn how to tell stories, learn how to capture them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a language. It's hard to learn. It can't just be done by a computer or a cool camera. One cool camera.
Yeah, it's crazy with AI. You goof around with it a little bit.
I've messed with photos and it just pisses me off. But I've used it to be like, put these 5 things together. And it always comes out looking like a country and western movie, but like things are on fire and weird color filter on it, or it's really pastel and nothing that I'd asked for. But at least I can say like, oh, okay, I kind of can see what it would look like on my phone. Yeah. Now I can like take that further and redraw it, paint it, or whatever I'm trying to do.
Goes in and out of being like mind-blowingly accurate and capable. And then 50 prompts in, you're going, fuck, this should be easy. You've already done this in a different way, but you can't, like, what's happened to you?
Yeah.
And the further down I go, the worse
Thankful
it gets.
It does, because then it's going to force you to put your own hand back into it,
Yeah.
I find, what points out that you have to be cautious is like when you ask for a photo to be made and it comes out with 3 hands or whatever, or someone skateboarding and the foot's in the wrong spot, and then all of a sudden it's in the backward spot, and then it's in the right spot again, like that kind of shit. It does that to your writing. It does that to your searches.
Good point.
It does that to your feedback. Like when you ask it advice, you're getting 3 hands. You're getting a foot on the wrong spot on the skateboard. That kind of shit.
Totally.
So that's where you have to be like, okay, it's not gonna solve my problems because the photo work certainly doesn't.
Right.
And so if people can like keep that in mind when they ask it if they should break up with their boyfriend or like, am I suicidal or not? Like it's going to give you a 3-handed response.
Interesting. Good advice.
I hope so.
Yeah, very good advice.
People are leaning on it, like making it their partner, training it.
Yeah.
Man, that's not a good way to go.
I've used it to talk to my partner in fights because I have dyslexia and I'm long-winded. So sometimes I'll say, rewrite it the way that I want it, and then tell me why I didn't write it that way. Like, what is it about writing it that way that makes it work when I talk to my wife? Right. It's the same concept, but it's in words that they're so much more digestible for her.
Sure.
And I've stopped using it for that.
Yeah.
It just got me through like kind of a period where I was able to like transcend the same argument and like get out of it to where, okay, do we need to be more connected? Like little things like, oh, are you just saying that you want some more connection right now? Sure. And then I go there instead of a 5-day fight about dumb shit. It's not a bad
thing to do. I mean, it's averaging all the other relationship troubles out there into yours. So, and I bet you many of them aren't far off.
Right.
Everybody has issues with their partner at some point in a relationship, and they're all asking ChatGPT. So, but it isn't inventing anything.
No,
it's only accessing old data.
Right, right. And there are some things that for someone like myself, like I said with dyslexia, that it puts things in an order that makes sense.
Sure.
To me even.
Sure.
So it helps.
It's an Excel spreadsheet.
Right. But sometimes it's got the 3 hands.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
Sometimes it does have the 3 hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using it now for Belize. I want to import a bunch of stuff into Belize, and every time I get something, I just tell it I've got this as well. And then when it goes to import it, it can write it in a spreadsheet and a manifest with the right values and all the things that would take a fucking
I have to tell you this story because while you're telling me that, I was like, what else have I not talked about? I don't think I've really talked that much about 90s snowboarding, but Kearns is hot right now, so I'm going to tell this one Kearns story.
I love it.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you didn't at all.
So we're at the lineup for first tracks at Whistler, which is like get there early so you get the first peak chair. Or
you pay to cut the line essentially,
but you got to be there early. Yeah, and so I don't know if they have it anymore. We used to have it where once a year we would do a Chinese downhill. I know that's politically not correct to say anymore.
I remember.
I was in 1 or 2 of those, and they were really fun. Maybe it was a Chinese downhill we were waiting in line for. So we're all in line very early, still reeking like booze and cigarettes. Everybody's probably smoking a joint or trying to hide it, being illegal back then. Kern shows up with a grandma little teapot. We're like, oh, what do you got in there, Kearns? And he's like, mushroom tea. And it was just so cute. It was like the cutest teapot I've ever seen in my life, but it was the only thing, in the cabinet of the rental house he was in, like that he could transport this mushroom tea. Like, someone now's got a Yeti for sure.
Yeah.
But he had a teapot full of mushroom tea. And it was a personal teapot just for him on the gondola on the way up.
Oh my God.
I always remember laughing at him that. I bet she doesn't remember that, but that was a funny one.
That's an awesome one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a group of people, right? Like what a group of...
All the things we did with drugs back then. And I mean like low level drugs, weed and mushrooms. Like we used to get that stuff across the border all the time. Like we would even like we'd use apple juice bottles and put our weed before we went across the border at the border. So when we came back to Canada, we had weed. So we would leave it in like Richmond, like behind the gas station or whatever in a sealed apple juice bottle. And then when we got back, we had our weed. And then we had weed left for us on the other side too that we could pick up. And then I learned since I was shooting 16 millimeter film, I was taking an eighth of weed, unrolling a spool of 16 millimeter film, putting the weed in there, then rolling the film back on top of it in the blackened out little film reel, putting in an exposed case with an exposed sticker on it so they wouldn't open it.
Right.
So I would always bring an eighth of weed with me every time.
It's unreal, hey?
Yeah, those are fun times.
Yeah, there were certain guys like Noah and Aaron that didn't travel that much because of the weed thing.
Yeah, and Chalmers did that too.
Really, he didn't want to. He'd
always get invited to contests, and he'd be like, "Oh, I just got this QP. Like,
yeah,
I'm not going."
Oh wow, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we were so adjacent, like it was so close that I mean, my best day, I was describing it the other day, best day of my life was 15 runs at Whistler Heli. And I forgot that the guy who paid for it was also like, we want to smoke weed while we're doing it.
Yeah.
And luckily, like, I can smoke weed and it makes me weird or paranoid or whatever.
Sure.
But then it just stops having an effect eventually. Like there's a maximum of weed that can go in you. So I could just keep smoking. I don't get any higher. Right. But that whole day, 15 runs, we were out of our minds smoking weed.
I went to Chile with 13 riders. Somehow I got together a crew of 13.
Wow.
You know, normally you travel with 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. I had 13 dudes with me. And we got there in like the worst weed conditions. Like you couldn't get weed. If you did, it was sticks and seeds and pretty bad. So Al Clark gave me this note because he was going to Argentina when I was leaving Chile, and I'd be back to Vancouver first. And he wanted me to pick him at the airport. I'm like, sure, write your flight number down. So he writes me it down. I put it in my pocket. Get to Vancouver airport. They're like, okay, empty all your pockets. Open up the note. Bring you an eighth, or bring me an eighth. So an eighth of what? Eighth of a pound, eighth of Coke, eighth of. I'm like, I didn't know that was on there. Like, I didn't know that this guy. So I got strip searched because I had a note from Al saying you need to get me an eighth when I get there. It was just for an eighth of weed, but you know, it was that kind of shit that always was going on.
That's so crazy. I got pulled over at the border. And they turned on my phone, which had been off because I'm coming back from the States. I didn't want the thing to pay for it or whatever. And I could hear all the notifications. Ding, 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 ding. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? These guys are going through my phone? That feels really violating. He comes back. He goes, how do you know Sean Farmer? I go, what? How the hell would you? That's way deep in my emails. Like, what the fuck? I go, I do a podcast. The guy goes, one time in the 90s, Farmer wanted to go see Metallica with us. And this is a Canadian guy. He goes, he didn't have a passport, so he kind of looked like me. So I lent him my passport, and I crossed on my driver's license. And we took Sean Farmer to Metallica, man. If you talk to him, ask him if he remembers that show. Amazing. I was like, what the fuck? And I'd been pulled in because I had 30 tall cans of beer, and I'd only been away for 20 hours or something.
Right.
And he's like, oh, just take the beer, man. We don't care. I was like, you can say shit like that? Isn't there microphones everywhere here? Going through my phone. Amazing. My God.
I never get to drive across the border without getting pulled in now. And it's not because I have any outstanding charges. It's because I'm a guy with a wheelchair van by myself going somewhere. And they're like, this is suspect. Like, I get pulled over every time.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Where's your attendant? Or what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
I get pulled over every time because I told them I was making a podcast. I don't go anymore. I can't interview people in the States. They've told me if I do, then they'll kick me out for 5 years. Sure. So I don't go.
Shit.
For a while.
Yeah.
They come up here. Yeah. Americans come up here and there's all sorts of other places to go. I've never been to Europe. There's a whole bunch of European riders I need to get in touch with.
And you came here.
Fucking love it
here,
dude.
Have you been to Salt Spring yet?
I skated when did the park get put in here? Way before
Before Hastings, because I think it was like a test park for Hastings.
Yeah.
In some ways, there's some of the features of
Hastings style elements in it, right?
Elements.
Is it a Barnum Park?
Yeah.
It is. I skated it when it was pretty new.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at, like, being stoked over here and looking at real estate, being like, maybe we could get a little plot of land over here. And it was like, no, we could not. It's expensive.
Yeah.
It was super expensive.
Yeah, it is a little bit. And the pandemic jacked up the prices. But it's a beautiful filter because, like, it's difficult to live here because of the ferries. But at the same time, that makes it more peaceful. And for me, I get way more work done because I just work in my studio and don't have any interruptions.
Nobody. Yeah. Fucking A, Murray.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me here. Let's go drink a tequila or something.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I mean, I feel like I can go on and on about old stories, but
I like those. People love those.
We covered the main ones, though.
I think really your story is like I know most of it in pieces, and I learned a bunch more tonight.
Sure.
And it's just so wonderful that we live in this time.
Yeah.
Right? Like if this was 30, 40 years ago, everything would be completely different. Yeah. You're in a frontier, like an exciting frontier.
Yeah, but you know, that's what the standing sideways world brings. You know, it's based on history, it's based on progression, and you take those two together and you could always be moving forward. And thank God for that, because you're never stagnant.
Never. You're
a moving stream, and it's always re-energizing, and that's the important goal here. You stagnate, you die.
Truth.
So
yeah, now I'm happy making turns. Barnum got me jumping in the air again last year after maybe 2 years of not jumping in the air.
Yeah.
We're like, let's do 360 Tuesdays or whatever. Or we're going to hit these jumps and spin.
Yeah.
And I'd been scared for years to try that.
Sure.
And then just one other buddy.
Sure.
And a bit of like that energy. And you're like, fuck,
that's the thing. You get that little bit of energy. It's not necessarily like, I get asked all the time, well, you're a real risk taker. And I'm not physically. I follow the people that are risk takers because I like that world. I like that energy, and I like where they're going with it. And if I can take a little bit of it and bring it into my world, I can use that.
Totally.
So, you know, it's just about keeping progressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The progression.
Yeah.
And we're at a point where certain things are progressing digitally, and that's not progression anymore.
Well, because it's not accessing the history. Like, you need to know history. Art especially, like, you need to know history. You need to know what films are made in the 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. You need to know all that to move forward, to make a new unseen film. You can't just start. You can't just start with AI and let it do it for you. You have to know. And skating, I think, is the same. Snowboarding is the same. You need to know who invented that shit.
Yep.
And now you can move forward. You can't just get a board and start and be like, I'm amazing. I can do all these kick flips. You need to know where all that stuff came from.
Totally.
How that board got off the ground in the first place, and who did that, and why, and what they wore and stuff, you know.
Totally.
Yeah, history.
Something just happened there.
That one hit the end, I think.
Hit the end of one of the cards, but there's two in there. All right.
Okay.
Well, I've still got you to thank you very much for doing this, and we'll do another one in the future when you win the world.
I'd love to do one with Arkwell, with Vinyl Richie, because, you know, me and him did all those movies together back in the day, and he's a resource to tap.
We'll have him for the premiere.
Right. Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, that would be good.
So what do we need deadline wise for Kearns to record that thing?
I think we should do it traditional fall release, like, you know,
Me too.
Just before snowboarding season, so that gives us a bit of time to find him, figure it out, and get that all planned. Yeah, I'm gonna start the show next year. I've been starting it November 1st. Yeah. I think I'm going to start it September 1st, 2 months earlier. That's when the old videos used to be premiering. Yeah. So then September 1st, I can also shout out the sponsors, get more value for those guys in the preseason to like go buy this stuff while it's like full price. Yeah. But then I can and hype, because September, October, there's no snow falling yet, so you're basically acting like it's the best season ever. Yeah. Which I love. And then we could shout out a few, like, hey, come up to Whistler or come up to Squamish for this premiere. Yeah. And we'll get everybody out to the thing. Yeah. It'd be fun. Yeah, I think so. I'd love to go back, and especially in that context, what a fun time that would be. Yeah, all the people that were in Cascadia come out we might have to get even a bigger venue.
do like a private screening there for the first, like for the community.
Yeah.
And then a bigger thing in Vancouver, do it at the Rio or something.
Sure, man.
That'd be
I
fun.
think it's a great idea. A really great idea.
It's a doable idea too. That's the thing. It's very simple to do.
I'm trying to think of like back to when the premiere actually was for Cascadia. Because I can't remember.
Probably would have been Whistler by that point.
But honestly, I can't remember if I got hurt before or after. I remember one premiere. It might have been Cascadia at Tommy's. I don't really remember, but I remember I'd been trying to date Dave Boyce's girlfriend at the time, and he found out, and he came up from the city, and he wanted to fight me at my premiere.
Was it Anne?
No, it was Amy.
Oh, that's too bad, because Anne was Pear's old girlfriend that he stole from
And
Pear.
I did fight him. And
You fought him?
Yeah.
You guys fought?
But, I had to be like, I didn't date her because Browner was.
Oh my God.
Anyway, shit, I shouldn't tell that kind of gossip, but it was a funny, relation to the premiere, and everybody knew what was going on there. I was kind of blindsided by it, and I think it took a punch from Dave, but it was fun. We're friends now. There's always like hugs, like, he made up for that. And,
Fights are usually bonding if you can get through it.
Yeah.
There is something very like cathartic about, being in a physical fist fight with someone.
Sure.
I mean, we did a fight club at the boardroom where we pushed all the racks to the side every Wednesday for the PK season.
Yeah.
We try and fight the reps, fight each other.
Awesome.
It was, holy fuck, it was fun. With 16-ounce like boxing gloves and kickboxing headgear.
Fight night.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
But it was also like some nights I'd drive home and be like, oh, I have memory loss. Like, how did I get home?
Oh, shit.
It's, you get dinged fast.
Yeah.
Getting punched in the head's not a good idea. All right, Mur. Thanks, dude.
Thank you.
Peace. FNRad shoutouts to Murray. Thank you very much for having me to your house on Salt Spring Island and being such a wonderful host. If you're interested in forming a guerrilla curb cut construction team, reach out to me and we will make that happen. Special thanks this week to Zach Aller from Burton, who organized an amazing Bald-Face Valhalla trip between Christmas and New Year's. Shout out Anson and Gentle for joining me on that one. And Mark Fawcett for keeping the stoke high all day and for designing the full Nelson family tree board with Burton. The thing rules. Watch for it in 2027. Extra special thanks to Jamie Karnsky for his nice message about growing up riding out of Red Deer, Alberta, home of past guest TJ Snyder. I love it when listeners reach out. Please join our Patreon. Things are heating up on there. And be sure to come back next week for more FNRad snowboarding presented by Flojoy Water and brought to you by FNRad Productions.